What's good, everybody? Welcome in to the Early Edge. It is Wednesday, October 12th, 2022, and this is your daily sports betting brand of record. We are powered, as always, by the almighty SportsLine, the best value in all of sports betting, and it is not close. Of course, I am your boy, the coach, and we got a busy day at the brand, but before we look forward, we must look back. Yesterday, soccer for everybody was bananas, upside down, teams winning that were underdogs, 6 out of 8. Hit yesterday. That's why all the X's are there. But AB coming through 2 out of 3, and we will have a bounce back Wednesday. But we also have a lot of specialty shows. Follow us. Turn on those likes. Turn on those notifications. You never miss one single second of our incredible content. Later today, AB and the boys with our college football mega preview. And we may have a pick for tonight's game. Yes, there is a college football game tonight on a Wednesday. But let's bring in the stars of the show. Because when I have the 5 wide, what? 5 wide? Oh, where do I even start? I know where I'm going to start because live from just south of London, England, Eric said it in the chat. I came to see the guru. Well, here he is, ladies and gentlemen, Martin W. Green. Good afternoon to you, sir.
Good afternoon, Coach. Good morning to you. Delighted to be here with you fine gentlemen, 5 wide. Yeah, as you mentioned, it was a bit of a tough day in the Champions League yesterday. I was on that both teams to score in over 2.5 goals, PSG, Benfica. They just couldn't get that second goal. They had a goal disallowed. They were missing chances. It was a bit of a disaster, that game. But yeah, looking forward to a bounce back Wednesday.
I love Bounce Back Wednesday, and I love when our crew is literally worldwide. We go from London all the way to Sin City, Las Vegas, Nevada, Zacatecas, Zaximini. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Happy to be here with the big cast today, midweek show, and I do believe I'm going to have my first college football play this year, at least. I think it's a good game to get on, value before this point spread drops on going into Saturday.
All right, I can't wait for that. Also, he is a man. It doesn't matter if it's golf. It doesn't matter if it's football. It doesn't matter. My man comes and brings receipts live from Nashville, Tennessee. The penthouse level. M Squared. Mikey, good morning.
Good morning, Coach. Good morning, everybody. Fired up to be here. What a beautiful day we had yesterday with all the playoff baseball games. A lot of drama late, really, in all of them. A lot of fun. Let's go.
It was a ton of fun. Houston, hello. Little plus 380 to win the World Series. That felt good yesterday. Now, Mikey, you know how much FOMO the Maestro has, right? You know when he's not on a show, it bothers him just a little bit. Do you think it would bother him to know that Monday we had our biggest audience we've ever had on Early Edge?
Honestly, I don't think so, because he was in the club by himself watching the show on the big screen before the game came up. So I don't think it bothered him at all.
Very good. And Maestro, when Alex walked through the door of the club, did you give him a big bro hug, or what did you do?
I said that's ridiculous that Devontae Adams gets you into the club. This is a membership reserved for role players, scrubs, guys that surprise you. So, but I will still welcome in, and it's probably not a coincidence that your biggest show ever was when I was off.
Well, I didn't want to take a shot at you, but since you took a shot at yourself, there it is. All right, we got a lot to get to, so let's get into it. Storylines that could affect the betting lines today. We just talked about it. Yesterday was bananas in the Champions League. Well, guess what? 8 more games today. Guru, you're up.
Yeah, I'm just going to come with a little storyline from Bayern Munich. Everybody might be quite keen to give Bayern Munich a huge handicap against Victoria Pilsen today. They did beat them 5-0 last week. Just a note of caution, there's a bit of an injury crisis for Bayern Munich, and there's been a COVID-19 outbreak as well. So they're going to be missing Jamal Musiala, Manuel Neuer, Lucas Hernandez, Serge Gnabry, Matthijs de Ligt, Alphonso Davies, and Bouna Sarr. So that's basically half their team. They're minus 550 to beat Victoria Pilsen today. So you need to go for like Bayern -2, -2.5, something like that to get any value. I'm not saying they're not going to do it, but just proceed with caution because they are missing half their team, including their goalkeeper and their best player. But I do have a couple more games to break down with everyone a little bit later.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. And certainly it's very similar, Martin, to the Dortmund's Villa game yesterday because Dortmund had a big edge from the first game, and they just kind of rode it out, and it was a 1-1 tie when they were a huge favorite. Same type of situation, correct?
Yeah, and the same with Man City as well. Destroyed Copenhagen, got a player sent off. Haaland was on the bench, and they could only draw with Copenhagen, which was the biggest shock of the night. So hoping for a little bit more predictability this time around.
I love that word, predictability. All right. Now, Zach, you just said you're about ready to make your first college pick officially on the show. But as far as storylines are concerned with that pick, what are we looking at?
Well, Coach, when you get into the meat of conference play in college football, you're going to see several key top 25 matchups. We have one this Saturday with Oklahoma State and TCU, but you go back to last year, it's not what you think it would be. Oklahoma State absolutely trounced TCU last year, 63-17, a 46-point victory. It was TCU's worst loss since 1993. I mean, that is a long time ago, Coach. And you look at how they beat them. They just ran the football to death. 447 rushing yards, had 8 total touchdowns on the ground. And their running back, Dominic Richardson, the junior tailback, he had 11.2 yards per carry, 134 yards total. I'm a little bit surprised to see them an underdog here, even though TCU is playing so well. The spread currently is 3.5.
Yeah, TCU 2 straight weeks with tough matchups. Last week, the upstart Kansas Jayhawks. This week, Oklahoma State. Ray in the chat says Zach is back. You're damn right he is. He never left. He never left. Now, this is kind of a rubber meets the road type of week in the NFL. And Maestro, there are 2 teams that we really don't know if they are good or if they are good through 3/4 of the game. What do you have for us this morning?
The Browns host the Patriots, and there's a lot of different angles to this game, including Bill Belichick going back to the place where he got fired. He does know Jacoby Brissett because he coached him, so that's an angle. But to me, the number one angle and the number one matchup, and I cannot wait for this guy's props to drop, is Ramondre Stevenson, who Belichick professes to love. I mean, he's been gushing about this guy, and why wouldn't you? 25 for 161 last week. He's averaging 5.5 for the season, but he really had a bad game in game 1, and since then he's been lights out, going up against the worst run defense in all of football. I don't know if you saw some of the video of Austin Eckler. He had 3 major gaps to choose from when he was running the ball last week. Yeah. It was incredible. There's some still shots on Twitter. You got to check this out. Joe Woods is under a lot of fire. They lost a key linebacker, Anthony Walker, a couple weeks ago. Their run defense has collapsed, giving up 6 yards a carry the last 3 weeks. They traded for Deion Jones from the Falcons, but is that going to really help? So Ramondre Stevenson, with Damian Harris injured, I mean, he has the entire backfield, and I know people say, oh, Belichick, you can't predict. No, you can predict this guy for 20-plus touches in that game. So I've just been itching to see his props to hammer them. But I think whatever they open at, they're going to go way, way up. And I do want to throw a secondary storyline out because tonight, first full slate of NHL, and Johnny Bowman and Matt Severance already have picks up on SportsLine.
All right, very good. And if you're a SportsLine member, you can get those currently right here and right now. But if you're not, we're going to do you a solid. Use the promo code EARLY. I'll give you 30 days for free. You can check out all my cappers, all 4 that you see right here. You can find at SportsLine. You can check out the simulations. You can check out all of the articles. It's about information, educating, and entertaining. That's what we do here at the Early Edge and SportsLine. Thank you all for those storylines. Now, before we get into our board for our Bounce Back Wednesday, we got to pay those pesky little bills. Here's a word from one of our incredible partners. And we are back. Those watching on YouTube, welcome. Apple and Spotify, we care so much about you as well. One play from SportsLine today, and there is Wednesday Night Football. Now, when you see UL on your phone or however you look at your scores, it's not Louisville. It is Louisiana. They've changed everything about what they call themselves, all of that, but it's Louisiana. And they're getting 10.5. Our simulations at SportsLine has this as a 24-20 game. So the under is coming in. What we're playing Louisiana at plus 10.5, courtesy of our simulations at SportsLine. Now, when I have 4 absolute legends, what do? Where do I start? Well, you know I'm starting in Nashville, Tennessee, because this man has earned this introduction. I've been slipping a little bit, but damn it, not today. So M squared, you know the drill, son! It doesn't matter if it's the Zozo Championship starting tonight or football tomorrow or college football tonight as well. The man brings it and brings it strong. So, Mikey, feeling good today. Give it to me.
All right, Coach. Going here for well, I don't know what music is playing here. Can you guys hear this music?
I don't
Okay,
hear
there
it.
we are. Sorry about that, guys. I have no idea what is going on. It's a SportsLine site in the background here. So at least it's on SportsLine here. We're going with the Atlanta Braves here, minus 140 on the money line. And I will be the first to say there's not a ton of value on this number. The simulation number makes it minus 137, mostly neutral value. I think they end up winning the game. That's why I'm playing it here in this spot. I like the pitching matchup. Zach Wheeler and Kyle Wright here, both been very good against the opponent. I think that they can keep each other in check early in this game, but the Braves have a distinct advantage when this game gets into the later stages. They were almost able to complete that comeback yesterday against the Phillies bullpen, who does not have David Robertson for this series. Look, yesterday, Max Fried, his velocity was down significantly on the fastball. I personally believe he was injured and should have been pulled from that game in the first inning. I think it cost the Braves that game. Obviously, hungry, a must-win situation for them today. And then finally, we have weather issues to worry about in this game. I think we see a delay, likely just a late start, but there is another rain system moving in later in the day. If they have to delay by too much, they're going to get hit with rain again. It just creates a more high variance environment. I like teams dealing with delays when they're playing at home where it's more comfortable. Give me the Braves minus 140 to get it done.
So many angles that most people would never think about looking at, and you heard it right there. There's no question, Mikey, that Fried was injured yesterday. No velocity, no movement. They teed off on him. There's no question. By the way, people are asking, what is the jersey you're wearing today?
This is local. Well, they're in Nashville now. It's called Friday Beers. They have a new spot here in Nashville where I watch games and all that. So I rep in their baseball jersey during the playoffs here.
Sweet. They better take care of that bill tonight, giving them this kind of promotion on the show. Let's go. Now, I've hung out with Mikey in Nashville. Wherever we go, it's always, hey, best seat in the house for my man. That's how he rolls. That's how he rolls. And I'm sure that Zach rolls the same in Las Vegas, Nevada. Now, Zach, the chat, they're a little disappointed this morning because you have been killing the player props early in the week. But today you have a team prop. But if you feel so inclined over the next couple of days, I wouldn't mind an added player prop from you because you're killing it. But it's your world. You're up.
Hey, I do. I can give a promo here. I was on yesterday's afternoon show where I did give a Thursday night prop. So it was a little bit different because I couldn't be on the morning show yesterday. But there is a show, yesterday's afternoon show with Prop Stars that does have a Thursday night prop. Okay. But I do want to go right back to where I discussed for the Saturday college football play. Oklahoma State is going to be play plus 3.5 against TCU. And the reason why I want to give this out earlier, TCU has been one of the teams that the spread has been moving like crazy in every one of their games. We saw that against Oklahoma. It jumped up on Oklahoma's side against SMU. SMU was favored, flipped to TCU being favored. And then this week, their win against Kansas, it was minus 5.5. By Saturday, it was 7, and a lot of people pushed on that. So it's very key with this team because they are 4-0-1 to the number this year, one of only 2 teams that does not have an ATS loss. So they've been very good. But I do want to assess how they've been winning this year against SMU. SMU is a team that's been having a lot of personnel issues, players that have left the team, so they got that win. Oklahoma just was not prepared on the road with Dylan Gabriel, who also got hurt and left that game. Kansas, they gave them a lot of punches. TCU was able to survive, but they also lost their quarterback in the middle of that game. So here, I think that Oklahoma State's going to have that edge. You saw how well they ran the football last year. That's not going to go anywhere. They're going to be able to do that again. This is going to be a back-and-forth game. I do have a little bit of distrust with quarterback from TCU, Max Duggan. It just seems like one of those spots where he might have a hiccup or two, which we saw starting to occur in last week's game against Kansas. So I think you ride Oklahoma State here, and I expect this line to drop down to 2, maybe even 1.5 by Saturday.
So get it in right now. It's called the early edge for a reason. You want to get that hook plus 3.5. You don't want plus 2.5. It matters big time. Zach, thank you very much. Now, yesterday, we don't like it when the world doesn't go the way we think it's going to go. And there's only one man that I can call that has the tones to make me feel good again. So, Guru, if you don't mind, sir, can you please enlighten us on Champions League today?
Certainly, Coach. I hope my tone soothes you now. I'm going to start with an eagerly anticipated game between Napoli and Ajax. Napoli maintained their magnificent start to the season when they eased to a 6-1 victory over Ajax in Amsterdam last week. That left the Neapolitans top of their Champions League group, 3 wins from 3 matches thus far. That includes a 4-1 win against Liverpool and a 3-0 win against Rangers. So they're really on fire right now, and they've been similarly dominant in Serie A. They're sitting top of the table, 7 wins and 2 draws from 9 matches, and they fired in 22 goals in those 9 games, with informed striker Giovanni Simeone leading the charge. So they should be able to wreak more havoc upon Ajax this week, I think. Ajax were the architects of their own downfall in that game against Napoli. They frequently gave away the ball in dangerous areas. They failed to close down Napoli's wingers effectively. They had Dusan Tadic sent off when they were 5-1 down. It was their worst performance of the season under their new manager so far. However, they did bounce back with a 4-2 win in the Eredivisie at the weekend, and they found the back of the net in all 14 of their games so far this season. I think there's every reason to expect them to score against Napoli tonight when you consider that Napoli have only kept clean sheets in a quarter of their games so far this season. So both teams to score over 2.5 goals. Looks great, not complicating it. I think that one looks pretty good. Other one is a 2-game parlay that I'm going for. I've got Liverpool there to win alongside Sporting Lisbon draw no bet at cumulative odds of +125. I do know that Liverpool have suffered a worrying slump in recent weeks. They're currently dealing with an injury crisis. The likes of Luis Diaz, Joel Matip and Trent Alexander-Arnold are all on the treatment table. However, they were comfortable when they beat Rangers 2-0 last week. It's going to be harder for them in Ibrox in Glasgow today. They're going on the road now. But I still think Liverpool, who were the Champions League finalists last season, should have just about enough quality to scrape a win there. Parlaying them with Sporting Lisbon, who made a flying start to the group stage. They beat Eintracht Frankfurt 3-0 and Tottenham 2-0. Really impressive stuff. Their momentum was derailed when they suffered that surprise 4-1 defeat to Marseille last week. But there were some mitigating circumstances. Their goalkeeper, who's Antonio Adan, he made a couple of shocking errors and then he was sent off. So that cost his team dearly in that game. It was all over after that. But he's going to be suspended for this one, which is probably a good thing when you consider how bad he was last time around. So Sporting have a great chance to enact revenge now. They're facing Marseille at home in Lisbon, and Marseille lost 2-1 to relegation-threatened Ajaccio in Ligue 1 at the weekend, which is not good form at all to be taking into this game. So I've got Liverpool to win, Sporting Lisbon draw no bet, together at +125.
Joshua in the chat says, I could listen to this dude talk all day. You're damn right, Joshua. You're damn right. And you could probably meet him at the pay window a little bit later today. He'll be hanging out in line. Now, we know we love the chat. The chat and you fans at home are what make the show. And when you start talking about showdowns, I start getting my ear going. And we have 2 OGs on opposite sides of a game, sort of. I'm also here for it. We already have the Braves game. Maestro, what do you like today, sir?
Yeah, I got a sick feeling when I saw Mikey email in his play, but we both can win this bet because I will grant him that the Braves have the better bullpen by far. The Braves have the better defense. The Braves have probably a stronger lineup, especially against right-handed pitching. The Braves are at home, and yes, I believe the start will be delayed by rain. But I will take Zach Wheeler in the first 5 innings. This guy has been a machine since coming back from forearm tendonitis, 21.1 innings, 1 earned run. That's 1 solo homer, 11 hits, 19 Ks, 2 walks. Last week, I was angry because I was on the Phillies and they took him out after 96 pitches against the Cardinals. Now I'm happy they did that because this guy should be fresh and ready to dominate. Both pitchers have a strong history against the other team, but Kyle Wright down the stretch, not as dominant. 5.26 ERA over his last 5 starts. His ERA in the second half of the season was 3.6. So I'm playing the Phillies first 5 on the money line, also playing them first 5 plus a half a run at -140. So, Mikey, let's have 2-1 Phillies. After 5, Braves storm back to win it 8-2.
Beautiful.
That sounds pretty good to me. Now, I do want to warn people at home because sometimes the playoffs don't go as you think they might go. Yesterday, 13, 15, 8, and then 5 in the Yankees game. A lot of runs scored yesterday. A lot of runs scored yesterday. So take that for what it is worth. By the way, a couple questions in the chat. What is DNB? It's draw, no bet. It's in soccer where you can pick, and a tie, actually, you keep your money. You play the money line up top. A tie, you lose your money. That's what DNB stands for. All right. Grab your paper. Grab your pencil. Here is the recap, courtesy of Jake the Snake on the ones and the twos. Mike, he's on the Braves money line. As the guru said, let's not make it complicated. Let's go straight for Atlanta. There's no way they lose the first two at home. Then the guru is on Napoli, Ajax, both teams to score, and over 2.5 goals. You got to put them together, go all the way down inside the game. You'll get it at minus 125. Then parlay Liverpool. They have been really good, a little hit and miss, but they're strong. They should come strong today. The Sporting. Draw, no bet, plus 125. Put those together. Then the Maestro's on 2 plays from the Phillies. First 5 money line, and then Phillies plus a half run at minus 140. So if they're tied, to push. If they're tied, and then you win one of those bets. So it's a really smart way of doing it. Then Zach Attack. He's on Oklahoma State. It's a 3:30 Eastern game on Saturday, plus 3.5. And if you go back and watch Early Edge in 5 yesterday, he'll have a player prop for Thursday as well. And then one play from the site, Louisiana tonight, plus 10.5. Wednesday night college football. Do not forget, AB and the boys today at 3 p.m. Eastern time for our College Football Weekly Spectacular. Can we do any more for you? So that's about 21 minutes. I want you all to write in the chat right now, how would you like it if the show was, say, an hour or 2 hours? Would you like that? Just say yes or no. Just let us know. Into the chat. Would you like an hour show? Would you like a 2-hour show? That's quite the tease. All right. With that being said, I love my one shot, Jake. There's only one thing left to do, and I believe you all know what that is. You've got your marching orders. Let's take all of these tickets, soccer, baseball, everything, straight to the pay window. For my entire crew going 5 wide, love them all. Maestro, the Guru, M Squared, Zach Attack, and, of course, Jake the Snake on the ones and the twos. I am the coach. Turn on your notifications. Tell your friends there's only one spot you need to come, whether it's a question, whether it's a play, or just to have a good time. It's right here at the Early Edge. Good luck.